Welcome to the Nerd Party.
It's not working.
Well, how long since you've cleaned the heads?
The what?
The heads. Do you have any alcohol?
To drink?
What? No, to clean it. Check the tracking.
The rental place closes in 2 hours.
Shut up, it's working.
Time for a retro perspective.
Hello and welcome to Retro Perspective, the Nerd Party show in which we take a look back at all the movies released 25 years ago this week. I'm Mike.
I am John.
And today we're going to be taking a look at the movies released February 4th, 1994. Actually, a couple that were released prior to February 4th, 1994. But, let's get started. February 1st, apparently. Some of these are hard to tell, you know? But February 1st was Silent Tongue.
Yeah, Silent Tongue, which is a movie about the marriage of... okay, look, it's got... it's set in the West, and it's got people in the Old West and Native Americans and a bunch of plot lines having to do with sins of the past.
And it's got, what's his name? Richard Harris, right?
Yes.
And River Phoenix's last performance?
Yep. This would be River Phoenix's last screen appearance.
And what, was it written and directed by Sam Shepard? Is that right?
I know it was directed by him, but yes, I believe it was written by him as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you watched it, right?
I did. It was streaming for free on Amazon Prime. And even though I could tell immediately that Amazon Prime had a disrespect the aspect ratio edition, I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going with it anyway because I'm a huge, huge fan of Westerns. Most of the time, even a bad Western is still enjoyable. You know, it's like that saying that everybody has about Shakespeare is like pizza. You know, when it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad, it's still kind of good. So I'll stick with a Western pretty much through thick and thin. But this one was a tough one to get through. Despite a great cast, it was so aggressively mediocre as to be practically incoherent at points, where there are things that happen where I think they seemed a lot stronger in the concept stage than in the execution. And there's even... it's just a really disturbing sort of thing. And it's almost as if some of the actors think they're in a different movie. And it really seems like it would have been much better suited toward a miniseries treatment. Like a 6-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
Or, 3 2-hour episodes, however you want to break it out, would have been a much better, stronger way to deal with this than a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I can't say that it seemed very intriguing to me. I watched the trailer, but well, it's good to know that I don't have to watch it.
No, you really don't, and that's it. And it's a shame because, again, just that the talent is there. Like it's one of those puzzling ones where all of the pieces were in place, they just didn't fit right, and oh well.
All right, well, a day later, apparently, and who knows how accurate some of these things are, but a day later was the release of a movie called Fiorile. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I believe.
I wouldn't know how to correct you, so.
I believe it's an Italian movie. I watched the trailer. I don't remember much about it. All right, then on February 4th, there were 4 movies released, all of which were substantial. The first, alphabetically, probably the biggest, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yes, the movie that gave birth to the phenomenon of Jim Carrey in the 1990s, and I did see it back then. I did not revisit it for this because I have seen it more than once, less than 4 times, That was enough for me. I'm dying to know, did you see Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
No.
Oh,
I watched the trailer.
yes.
And I had the same reaction to the trailer that I did back when the movie first came out, which was, boy, this looks really bad. So I didn't watch it once again, even though this was number 1 at the box office this weekend.
Oh,
with
yeah.
$12.1 million.
It seems it's so funny talking about number 1 slots at the box office back then. The numbers seem so small compared to what we're accustomed to seeing nowadays.
That's true.
But Ace Ventura is a movie where my recollection of it is that it caught everybody by surprise. It was not a movie. Jim Carrey was the guy from TV. Why am I going to go see it in the theater? I can see him on TV. He's a funny guy. I like him. Who knows? Whatever. And then people started coming out of it saying, oh, I laughed so much. And it seemed to take on a life of its own.
Yeah.
And it just, all of a sudden, Jim Carrey was everywhere afterward. And I remember seeing the movie, and there are moments where I laughed hysterically because I like slapstick and I like silly, zany stuff. And it was an over-the-top, weird movie that just existed for its own sake. But I didn't revisit it, but I highly doubt that it's held up as well as people would have hoped it would.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely my first exposure to Jim Carrey, and I know everyone went crazy for this movie. I remember everyone at school loving it and everything, and just thinking, like, this is beneath me, Even as, like, a 14-year-old kid, I was like, I can't do this. I can't stand this shtick.
Well, it was such a big hit that when I went to Hollywood Studios in the 90s, it was not too long after this, actually. I think maybe the next year or whatever. Hollywood Studios, you used to have, all the different characters that you can interact with. And there are photos that exist of a Jim Carrey impersonator dressed up as Ace Ventura standing with my cousin and her family and me that, I went down with them and everything. And, having a grand old time. And the kids loved him. Thought it, because it's a living cartoon. It's just a cartoon.
You could totally tell that's what he was going for. But
yeah.
Oh well. The next movie, alphabetically from this week, was number 5 at the box office, and that's I'll Do Anything.
I did not see it.
I didn't either. I was going to watch this movie. This is the one that I was going to pick until I decided to watch all the trailers, which I almost, because up until now I've just been picking the movie based on, what I've been reading about it or who's involved with it. And, I think now I'm going to watch the trailers and pick it, use that as also a basis for that, because I was going to pick it and it looked intriguing. It's about a guy who's like a struggling actor played by Nick Nolte, and then like his young daughter gets discovered and is cast in like a TV show or something. So he's kind of like jealous of her success, and she's becoming, kind of a bratty starlet, and all that stuff. And, hijinks ensue. Directed by James L. Brooks, and Albert Brooks is in it, and Nick Nolte. And it looked like it was intriguing. It looked like it could be fun. And I mean, I like James L. Brooks in general. I mean, as good as it gets is pretty solid, But,
yeah, it is.
But it didn't strike me as something that I needed to see.
Is this the one that was a musical, but they cut the musical numbers out?
I don't know.
Because I remember there was a Nick Nolte movie. I remember somebody telling me there was, for some reason, this is the one that comes to mind, where it was a musical, but maybe they cut them before production, or maybe they cut them after they weren't working or something. But I swear, if it wasn't this, there was some other movie that somebody told me Nick Nolte was in that was supposed to be a musical. And maybe it's just I've got wires crossed in my brain or something.
Filmed as a musical with 8
Yes.
songs by Prince,
What?
but test screenings indicated they should be removed. Wait, test screenings were wrong on that one.
By Prince?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were by Prince.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Well, now, see, the thing is, now I got to go back and watch this.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta. Because now I'll be sitting there waiting to see, okay, where would the song go?
Yep.
Because if you construct a movie as a musical, man, that's a very definite type of structure, you know?
Yeah, if you do a good job with it, sure. Yeah.
Of course, would I want Nick Nolte singing to me?
Yeah, why not? I mean, if Prince wrote the music, then why not, right?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Is there a list of the songs by Prince anywhere so that I can look them up?
I don't know if there are or not, but yeah, and not on IMDb, but
I can only imagine how angry Prince was if he wrote music for something and they didn't use it.
apparently that's what he does. Did you ever see the Kevin Smith thing?
I heard about some of the story. Yeah, I saw the Kevin Smith thing, and I heard about like the whole, crazy requests at 3 a.m., but I don't remember the music part of it.
Well, the whole reason why Kevin Smith was there was to shoot a documentary for him.
Right.
And then at the end, he was like, so where is this going to show up? And Prince's assistant was like, oh, probably nowhere. And he's like, what, why? And he's like, oh, well, he does this. He like shoots things and, records music, all this stuff, and then just like puts it in a vault and never releases it. And he's like, that's insane. And the producer, whoever it was, the assistant, whatever she was, she's like, yeah, he's got like over 100 fully produced, like professional quality music videos that have never been seen by anyone.
I wonder if now that he's passed, if his family if his estate will see that those things make it to the light of day.
Haven't they done that with some of his music? And didn't they release something? I don't know what it was, but I know they released something after he died.
Wasn't there a fight about that, though? I seem to recall there was like some sort of fight. There's always a fight about those things.
Yeah.
Somebody's always unhappy about it.
I don't know.
I just want to hear what 8 songs Prince wrote for a musical starring Nick Nolte about reconciling with his daughter.
Yeah.
Because I'm highly curious about it. Like, really highly curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So the next movie, alphabetically, that came out this week. Well, I'll Do Anything. It made $4.7 million. That was number 5 at the box office, for what it's worth. Number 4 at the box office, which made $5.6 million, was My Father, the Hero.
Starring Gerard Depardieu and Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, directed by Steve Miner.
Who would go on to do Halloween Water and
had previously done Friday the 13th 2 and 3.
Yes, which, you could argue proves that he was well suited for comedy. Mm-hmm. He also did a movie called Warlock starring Julian Sands that I haven't seen in decades and don't want to see again because I really liked it when I was a kid and I saw it, and I don't want to tarnish that memory in any way because I really liked it at the time. And I know that he would go on to do Lake Placid, which I still haven't seen.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so good.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, written by David E. Kelly. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
I did see My Father the Hero. Did you see My Father the Hero?
No, I came close to watching it, but I watched the trailer and I was like, it's not really working for me, and I think I'll pass.
Well, I'm a sucker for any good, father-daughter movie. Hey, we got to come to terms with each other. We got to figure each other out. No, It's a comedy. Okay. I was a little put off by the premise because I can honestly say that, the premise that powers the movie is she has started telling people that they're lovers because she doesn't want the boy that she's attracted to on their island vacation to think that she's there with her father. So in her thinking, a 14-year-old brain, it's better to convince everybody that instead she's dating a man old enough to be her father, which of course leads to scandal and actually some funny moments where he has no idea this is going on. And there's a moment where, a woman who knows that their father and daughter knows that he can play the piano and they're having like a talent night. And she goes, "Oh, go up and play something." And he says, "What should I play?" And everybody says, "Play something French." So he plays this French song where the lyrics are like, the thing I love about young girls is they get to be pretty older girls and stuff like that. And everybody's scandalized and storms out. And he turns around and he's like, "What did I do?" So there are cute moments like that, but it doesn't really find its voice until about halfway through. But I can say it is the first Gerard Depardieu movie that I've ever watched. And the guy has natural comic timing. And I know that he played the same role in the original French version.
Oh, I didn't know that was an original French version.
Yeah, that undoubtedly helped.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, it's cute. It's not offensive. It's pretty safe. There's nothing spectacular about it, but it's a cute enough diversion. Like it's sort of like brain candy where I wouldn't be averse to watching it again, but there was nothing about it that would make me recommend it to somebody. It's cute enough. Stephen Tobolowsky's in it, and he's always funny, no matter how big his part is. But yeah, no, it's My Father the Hero. It's harmless. It's forgettable, but it's got a good heart, I guess.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie, but I did see the movie which is the only one which is left.
Yes.
Number 16 at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
With $1.2 million. Romeo is Bleeding.
Romeo is Bleeding. I did see this on video. I did not see it in the theater. I did see it on video. Wanted to see it in the theater because I'm a huge Gary Oldman fan, and his star was very much on the rise at this time. And I remember the trailers promised something that was a little Tarantino-esque and stuff like that. So I'm dying to know, what did you think of Romeo is Bleeding?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on watching this. I read about it, but, I was like, I'm going to go with I'll Do Anything because of James L. Brooks. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, ooh, this does seem like it's right up my alley. It does have that sort of Tarantino vibe going on, for it. And Gary Oldman, and Lena Olin and everything. And I'm like, this seems promising. I was still a bit on the fence. And then I started looking at the credits and I discovered that it was edited by Walter Murch. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sold then. Let's watch this.
Yeah. Yep.
And, it wasn't good. To be fair, I don't really have any idea what's going on in this movie because it's all over the place and it is insane. Like the stuff that happens in it, you're just like, what? It's completely over the top. And I guess that's to be admired, but I think at times, like, I couldn't even tell if it was supposed to be funny or not. There's one shot of Lena Olin, like, running down the street with her hands cuffed behind her back after she was just in a car accident, after she was just shot in the arm. And she's running down the street and she like stops and like kicks off like the one high heel that she still has on her foot and then keeps on running. And I know I've seen that shot before. I feel like it's something which pops up on Twitter every once in a while as a GIF or something like that. Yeah. I don't know, but it was funny. You know, I'm assuming intentionally so. I don't know. It's super duper weird. It's a super weird movie. I can't really wrap my head around it, but I don't think it was very good.
It is, my recollection of it is right along the lines with yours, where I would have been watching it with my brother and sitting there and just having this feeling of, I don't understand why any of this is happening right now. And I think that, especially in retrospect, this is the sort of thing you get when a studio sees Reservoir Dogs and then say True Romance, and they say, we need something like that. We need something like that. And they don't understand what the magic sauce was that made those things work.
Yeah.
And so somebody comes to them with a crazy script and they just want to get it done and say, yeah, that. Good. Yes. Crazy moments and shoes. Yeah. And that looks like a thing. Sure. Do it. And I think that's how Romeo is Bleeding is born.
Yeah.
Honestly. Although, did you catch that, if I recall correctly, the story that the FBI informant who gets killed early in the movie, he's telling the story of Tommy from Goodfellas killing, Shinebox in Goodfellas. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's telling that story.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a purposeful homage, I believe.
So does that mean that this takes place in Goodfellas continuity?
No, it does not, because there's
Okay.
something very special about the actor telling the story.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
it the guy who gets killed?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dennis Farina.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't pick up on that at all, but I need to watch Goodfellas again.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
No. Goodfellas is, this is spawned from imitating Tarantino, and Goodfellas spawned its own imitators that wanted so desperately to find that magic formula. But the thing is, to bring it around, full circle, is Romeo is Bleeding and Silent Tongue are kind of born of the same. They're cut from the same cloth, where you're looking at it and you're seeing these talented actors and you're seeing that, the scenery in the second, and you're seeing all of this stuff and you're thinking to yourself, nobody on set realized that this wasn't working. Like they were actually working for this. They were trying. They were putting everything into it. And it will always be fascinating to see a movie like either one of these and say, where is the break? What is the specific moment where it didn't come together? And did the director know it? And did they just say, okay, well, we just got to get this done and get it out? Or did they have any sense of dread? Did they know that it was going to land with a flop? Because I know that in the case, I don't think this is the case with Romeo is Bleeding. I'm sure it isn't. But I know that with Silent Tongue, it had been shot and shelved for 2 years before they released it. So, yeah, it's one of those things where River Phoenix had shot it 2 years previously, but it was released in 94.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and Romeo is Bleeding, I don't know, it came out, I don't know if it played at festivals or what, but about a year before as well. So, I kind of wish I would have watched I'll Do Anything. Now I feel like that was probably the one to pick. But what can you do? Maybe I'll catch up with it somewhere down the road. But here we are only a month in, and we've seen already like 3 or 4 of these sort of Tarantino-esque movies, and this is pre-Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
So that's kind of weird. But
it's almost like they were trying to steal his thunder, because people would have known he was working on it.
yeah.
There was buzz, and people would have been desperate to try to get to ride on that coattail and get along on there. But I think that it's interesting to me because I still don't understand the magic that happens that takes Ace Ventura, which is not a stellar comedy, but it's cute, it's funny. I said everything earlier. Why fate points to Ace Ventura: Pet Detective and not to My Father the Hero? Because they're both silly comedies, but there's at least some sort of heart and performance and sensible structure to My Father the Hero. And I think, I mean, is it just that Ace Ventura speaks to a desire for lighter fare that everybody has coming out of January? They're just desperate for a little sunshine after the long, dark month after Christmas at the theater.
I think it's because Ace Ventura speaks to a younger audience. You know, you're not going to see too many high schoolers going to see My Father the Hero, you know?
True. Very true.
So
Very true.
I think that's what it is.
But wouldn't because the thing is, the February release thing didn't really become something until Deadpool, really.
Yeah.
Deadpool was like a surprise smash. So obviously Ace Ventura is a surprise hit too, because they were just dumping it off.
Yeah, but I think there was also a thing that was happening which started changing. I want to say probably, I mean, the first one that I remember, but, you know, I wasn't really paying attention to movies back then. Like, it was Austin Powers in Goldmember, which was like the first, oh no, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, was the first one, which I remember being presented as like a blockbuster. You know, this is a comedy. You know, like the first one came out in some crazy release date like this too. And
yeah, that's true.
Once it became a hit like that, you know, so I think like movies like Ace Ventura, they weren't considered to be blockbusters. It was like a surprise how big it was, you know?
Actually, it's just because you mentioned Austin Powers. I remember seeing the first one in the theater, and it was he seems like he's going to get a mention every single week. He and I hung out and went to the movies a lot. My friend Joey and I went to see it. We were 2 of maybe about 7 people in the theater.
Yeah.
And I remember it did good. You know, it was obviously not a flop, but that thing didn't find real life until video.
Yeah.
But I remember coming out of the theater and telling people, you should go see this. This is funny. You should go check that out. And it was just, it's so odd and in that case as well, because Ace Ventura had a sequel, When Nature Calls, and that one did not do well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
that one really landed with a thud.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just that I disliked it so much.
That could be too.
That's
I don't
possible.
know.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay, so it looks like this week, out of the ones that we saw, no real winners. Nothing you'd really recommend?
No, My Father the Hero is harmless. But, yeah, of the ones that I know in this line, the ones that I mean, and honestly, I'm surprised now with having seen these two. I've seen most of these. I have to see, I guess I have to complete the circuit just so I can say whether I'll do anything. That might be our surprise candidate. Maybe we can report on that next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But we do have a number of movies coming out next week, which we need to take a look at. There's 4 movies which were released on February 11th, and they are Blank Check, The Getaway, My Girl 2, and Together, TWO, Together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Title so clever, it immediately makes me not want to watch it.
It'll be interesting to see. I've seen one of these movies so far, and it's an interesting movie to talk about for sure.
I've seen one of these movies. I saw it in the theater, and I have an aggressive dislike of one of its elements.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm debating whether to revisit it or just to rail about it on principle. I don't know.
Yeah. I was I'm glad that I've started looking at the I was watching all the trailers, but I was doing it after the fact. I'm glad I watched all of these trailers, and I think this is what I'm going to do. I think this is going to be my thing. Before I watch the movie for the week, I'm going to watch all the trailers for next week's movies.
Yep. I think that's a good plan.
right? It's a good
I
thing.
think it's a very good plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a great way to do it because then you can have your own little like theater experience. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna ride that coattail.
In
I
fact,
like that.
you know what I'll do? Just to make it easy or whatever, and just to make it, kind of cool, I will put together and we'll share them on Twitter. We'll put together playlists of the trailers on YouTube so
I'm
that
on
you
board
can
with
watch
this.
them, right? And then we can just share the playlist, right?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
That's a terrific idea, Mike.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's like our own little version of Grindhouse.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for this week. John, where can people find you on the internet?
Kessel Junkie on Twitter, Letterboxd, Goodreads. You can find me here on the network co-hosting Aggressive Negotiations with Matthew Rushing and floating out there on Words with Nerds with my pal Craig. And Mike, where can people find you?
You can find me on Trek FM doing a show called Tracks from the Edge. And you can find me on filmdamagepod.com doing a show called Film Damage. And you can find me on Twitter and also Letterboxd. I never say that. At Mumbles3K. So that's it for February 4th, 1994. Next week, we'll be taking a look at the movies from February 11th, 1994. But until then, be kind, rewind.